Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Are all batteries the same? That's like asking if all soccer players are the same. Take Messi, the most decorated player ever. Is there any other player who has achieved that? No, just him. Now take Duracell. Is there any other battery with power boost ingredients inside? No, just Duracell. Remember, goats only trust goats because they're built different. And Messi only trusts Duracell.
And I thought we had a pretty good setup. We got in a blind, daybreak, and the turkeys are like right on top of us. I did not expect them to be that close. But I had like 3 of them gobbling on the roost, almost right on top of us. And the way I was facing kind of toward the east, and he was facing toward the west. They flew down right on top of us, and I didn't want to really move to get situated and have them spook. So I couldn't really see. So I'm whispering it to him, whenever you get a chance, just take your shot.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we got another great episode for you today. Today, we're actually connecting with a coworker of mine. We, oddly enough, met in a Zoom meeting. He saw my Vortex hat. I saw his Vortex hat. It was a match made in paradise. Today, we're chatting with Scott Freiburger. Scott is an avid outdoorsman, lives in Florida, and man, he just slays turkeys. Like, that's his thing. And so he's got some great turkey stories for us today, something that I've been feeling we need a lot more of. So first off, Scott, thank you so much for being willing to come on the podcast, and then, of course, for sharing your stories. For you listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. I apologize that I've kind of gone bi-weekly. New baby, new job, lots going on in life. I'm going to try and get back to the regular cadence, but bear with me as I'll try my best not to miss too many in a row here. So thank you guys again, as always. Appreciate you. If you enjoy the episode, please give us a review at the end. Always feel free to reach out to me if you got any questions. I'm happy to chat with all of you. But let's do it, guys. Let's let Scott tell you some of his stories. All right, Scott. Welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, brother. How are you, man?
Appreciate it. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing well. This is your first podcast, Scott, which is cool. And we have an interesting relationship. We work together for our day jobs, man.
We do. I wish it was more of a career, but it's just doesn't pay the bills yet. But
yeah, right. But I think it's a funny story, so I'll share it with the people. But like you and I were in a Zoom meeting. So the people out there that actually have Zoom meetings, we're sitting there listening to someone else talk about whatever corporate jargon they want to talk about, and I think it was actually the day that my water heater went out. So, I don't normally wear hats at work, so I threw on a hat for that day because I didn't have any water, and you messaged me, be like, hey, man, nice Vortex hat. And I was like, hey, look at you, nice Vortex hat. Turns out we both work with Vortex. So, what small world. We're in a training. We got hired in the same month, basically, and now we've started a hunting fishing channel at our work where we just share stories and pictures. And Scott, you're a turkey killer, buddy.
Well, yeah, that's definitely my passion.
Yeah,
any other kind of hunting I do is just kind of a side hustle for scouting for turkeys, but I definitely love killing some turkeys.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's do this. Why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, how long you've been hunting, etc., so that people know who they're hearing some stories from today.
Yeah, my name is Scott Freiburger. I currently live in Florida, but I grew up in the woods of Iowa, and God, I can't remember when I started. I've been hunting all
from birth.
Yeah, from birth. I can remember carrying around a little 410 shotgun, rabbit hunting with my old man way back in the day. So been hunting for a long time. Like I said, I was fortunate to grow up in the woods basically, and it's a little harder down here in Florida, but I find the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. And you guys got some unique birds down there. You got what's the species? I know the Grand Slam involves one from Florida, and I always forget mix it up with the one from Mexico.
Yeah, it's the Osceola.
Osceola.
Yeah.
I think I need the Osceola and the Eastern to finish my Grand Slam. You probably do a Grand Slam every year, don't you?
I wish I did, but I'm still missing a Merriam actually, and my friend just moved to Nebraska this past year, so next spring I should be able to check that off my list. But
absolutely,
still a ton of Osceolas, ton of Easterns, a couple of Rios here and there, but the Merriam has always evaded me so far.
They're a tough bird. And I'm not a turkey hunter by any means, but I hear that like most birds kind of roost, stay in a similar area, while Merriams can actually roam.
Yeah.
It is more like elk hunting. Not necessarily, people say it's like elk hunting because you can call, but it is more like elk hunting because they don't necessarily roost in the same tree every night. They're all over the place. And I've killed a couple Merriams, and man, I've hunted as hard or harder than I have for some of my big game hunts. It's some tough hunts.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about this offline, man. But let's get you out to Colorado. Let's go turkey hunting next year.
Sounds good. I'm always open to it.
Sweet, man. So you grew up in Iowa. Did you start with turkeys, or did your dad just say, "Whatever, come with me, boy. We're gonna go shoot whatever's available"?
Man, I grew up hunting everything. In the spring, it was turkeys. In the fall, it was deer, rabbit. In the winter, you had squirrels throughout the year. I hunted just about everything there was to offer.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool, man. So what was it, or let me ask, do you have a moment where you were like, turkeys, that's my thing? Like, or was it just like a gradual progression? You just kept slaughtering them and kept having such a good time that you're like, this is what I want to do?
Well, I always enjoy the fact that it's more of a chess game that you can call to them, and deer hunting, the thrill of a big buck is obviously, man, that gets your heart pumping, especially those Iowa bucks because they grow big there. But
yeah, they do.
It's kind of a waiting game for them, just kind of a hope and see. I mean, you can pattern them as best you can, but in turkey hunting, you kind of make it happen, and I think that's most enjoyable for me.
Yeah, I think you might like elk hunting, my guy. Like that's a lot. I mean, there's different facets to elk hunting. Some people are like the spot and stock, but some people just love to make it happen, and call and move and call and move, and then get something right in your face. I don't know if I've told you this story, but if you've listened to the episodes, my first elk, I went out with a world champion elk caller, Jermaine Hodge, and his buddy Pat Luttrell, who had also won the world champion of elk calling, and man, they made it happen. The elk I killed, I'll tell you what, we didn't call in that day. The night before, we were in a calling battle with him, and there were multiple times where they called in elk to like 5 yards, elk piling up on top of each other because they were all coming in. It is such an experience to just like have that communication with an animal. I'm a terrible turkey caller. I get them to call back, but I've never gotten one to come. So we'll have to talk about that some of the time as well, because I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, we can talk about it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, Scott, we're here to hear some stories. So why don't you set the stage, man? Why don't you set the stage for the first story? I assume it's a turkey story, but you tell me.
Yeah. So the thing I enjoy most is, I enjoy kind of passing on the torch, especially down here in Florida, because a lot of people I know have never really been in the woods before. So, I took this friend of mine once. We coached football together, and he's like 6'5", built like a Marvel superhero. He's just shredded. And he played at UNLV. He played in the NFL for a short time, and I was able to get him out in the woods one day, and I thought we had a pretty good setup. We got in a blind, daybreak, and the turkeys are like right on top of us. I did not expect them to be that close, but I had like 3 of them gobbling on the roost, almost right on top of us. And the way I was facing kind of toward the east, and he was facing toward the west. They flew down right on top of us, and I didn't want to really move to get situated and have them spook. So I couldn't really see. So I'm whispering it to him, whenever you get a chance, just take your shot. And I could kind of see him lining up the shot. And again, they were gobbling. They were right on top of us. And he ended up shooting And I turned back around, and he ended up getting 2 with 1 shot.
Ah.
He was waiting till, 2 of them lined up perfectly. And to this day, he still calls him. He said he was going to end on a high note. Turkey killer, turkey slayer, 2 with 1 shot. All I need is 1 bullet, and I can kill how many turkeys. So,
you never hear the end of it from
I
him.
never hear the end of it. I'm like, hey, my expertise calling, setup kind of got you in that situation, But like I said, it's kind of the fun part is to take a rookie hunting or a young kid and get that experience for them, seeing their face the first time they harvest a bird.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I've had a couple people on this podcast tell stories of 2 deer with 1 shot, but never 2 turkeys with 1 shot. That being said, I have a turkey story. If you're a long-time listener, you've heard it already, and I'll tell you, Scott, because it's one of my favorites. But it's the second bird I ever killed. It's in South Texas, kind of near San Antonio. It's kind of just the entire story is a shit show.
Yeah.
And so I see this buddy on like Facebook being like, hey, my wife wants me to find a hunting buddy. Anyone want to help me get into this? And so I message the guy, and I'm like 3-4 years into hunting. I don't know what I'm doing. But I message the guy, and I'm like, hey, I need a hunting buddy too. Would love to, sit down with you. We go grab dinner, and I'm like, I'll hunt with you. I don't know very much, but I'm more than happy to, teach you what I do know, because I have killed 1 bird. This is my Miriam, and over here's my Rio. And he's like, yeah, man, let's go. So we go out and we do some hog hunting. We do some deer hunting. Not really very much success, but at some point he's like, hey, dude, I work on this, I don't know, it's like a refinery that's right on the Guadalupe River in Texas. He's like, lots of guys hunt deer there. Nobody hunts turkeys, and it is filled with turkeys. And I'm like, well, can we get on that property? He's like, yeah, I can get us on that property, no problem. I'm like, sweet, well, let's do it. So we decided, okay, that weekend, whatever Saturday, we're going to go. It's, April in Texas, beautiful, blue bonnets everywhere, just like the best place ever. And so he gives me the pin, and he tells me how to get there. I take the pin, and I'm like, well, this pin isn't to the right spot, but I know where I'm going. So I get to the entrance of this place, and he calls me, and the sun's just starting to crest. And I'm like, what's going on? Where is this guy? I'm at his work. Like, wait. He calls me. He's like, dude, I'm lost. Where are you? And I'm like, well, I'm at your place of work. What are you talking about, man? You're lost. Like, this is where you go 5 days a week. How can you not figure out how to get to where you're going? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you told me this is where it was. You gave me the GPS coordinates, and you gave me a pin. Those weren't the matching, but I got here. Just get here. And so eventually he gets there, and he's like, that just kind of sets the tone for the whole day, right? Like that kind of craziness. So we get there and we park back by the machinery, and there's birds going off in every direction. I'm like, oh man, we are going to clean up. So we hustle around this big berm, down this long dirt road into this big field where there's a feeder. And I'm like, let's set up some decoys right under that feeder. I've got one of those blinds. It's basically 2 feet of fabric and 8 feet long. You just put up 3 posts and kind of sit behind it. Mind you, this is also at the beginning of COVID. So we don't really know how close to sit next to each other. So we're sitting 6 feet apart behind this little blind, and we're sitting there, and the sun's just coming up, and we're like, we're late, but whatever. Let's just get in. So we get in, birds are going crazy. As soon as we know it's shooting light, I start to throw little pot calls, and they're going off, but we can't see anything. Nothing comes in. I call for a good amount of time, and I keep getting responses, but nothing. And so we sit there for hours. We never see a bird. Mind you, when we parked, I would have told you there were 100 birds in the woods around us. Either way, at some point, we're like, this is stupid. It's getting really hot. We're just sitting here because we don't have any cover. So let's just go walk around the property and check out what the rest of the property looks like. Maybe they're here somewhere. Maybe we'll just walk up on them. So we walk around for a while. Eventually, we go back to the truck to have snacks or whatever. And this truck rolls in with these 4 Mexican guys. And they're like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're turkey hunting. Well, there's a whole bunch on the road. And mind you, this road just basically comes right in, right by where we were hunting and right to where we're parked. So these guys drove right by our decoys. And so we're like, no, there's no birds over there. Those are our decoys, but thank you. And they're like, no, there's birds next to your decoys. We're like, no way there are birds next to our decoys. So we kind of, like I said, there's a berm next to our parking, so we can hide where we're parked. So we run around the berm, and no shit, there is a turkey right in the middle of our decoys, just strutting away, just a big old Tom. And I'm like, all right, here's the plan. I was like, you guys drove right by him, right? And he's like, yeah, we drove right by him. He didn't care. I'm like, all right, man, here's the deal. And so I'm bow hunting. My buddy's got his shotgun. I'm like, here's what we'll do. We'll put down your truck bed. I'll sit on the tailgate. You just drive right up to him, stop, and I'll just nail him with my bow. Like, easy money, right? We're on private property. It's not really a road. It's just like so I'm like, this is what we'll do. My buddy's like, all right, let's do it. So I sit on the tailgate, and I'm also a lefty. So it's like the perfect, like it's on the right side of the car. I don't have to do anything weird. We're driving, and we're getting up on the bird, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm getting ready to pull back. And we drive up to the bird, and we drive past the bird, and we just keep driving, and we keep driving. We drive around and he parks around another berm on the other side. And I'm like, what did you just do? I was like, what happened to the plan? He's like, what's the plan? And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? We just talked about you just driving up to it, stopping, and me shooting it. Like, what happened? And he's like, oh, my bad. So at this point, we're parked, and we look on the other side of the berm, and those 4 Mexican guys, they didn't know what happened either. So they rush in their car, and they stop right where we were going to stop. The bird runs into the woods, and all 4 of those guys run off into the woods after the bird. No weapons, just 4 Mexican guys charging into the woods, chasing this bird. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now. I guess we follow them. Yeah. What's funny is, so we went into the woods after them. We never saw any of those guys again. Like, they went into the woods, that thick Texas brush. I don't know how they all got back together, but they all got back to their truck and they disappeared. So we walked around the brush for a while. We saw a bunch of whitetail in there, but never saw that bird again.
That's great.
It's just like, what just happened? Like, my buddy's an idiot, 1. 2, what are these guys thinking they're doing by like chasing it with their bare hands? Either way, we go back and we're sitting kind of in my little makeshift blind looking at my decoys. And I'm like, man, I was like, I probably got to go. I got to go do some stuff today with it. So I'm going to take off, and I'm telling him like he can borrow all my stuff because he's got to work. And then after he works, I was like, dude, go ahead and do the evening sit. Get yourself a bird. Because there's obviously birds here. And he's like, all right, cool. So I show him how to call and all that stuff. And while I'm showing him how to call, we hear a bird pipe off. And it's midday at this point. And the bird is over by our trucks back at like 100 yards down this dirt road. And we could see him. And I'm like, no way that this bird is like, and I start calling, and that bird comes on a line down that dirt road 100 yards straight to my decoys. And so when it's about 50 yards away, I put the pot call down, and I give it to my buddy, and I'm like, you're up, man. Like, this is my shot. But I was like, that being said, if I miss with my bow, shoot the shit out of this thing with your shotgun. Yeah. All right. I was like, we're taking this bird no matter what. And so it comes in, and like I said, there's a stand, like a feeder, and its head goes behind the feeder. So right when its head goes behind the feeder, I pull back, and as soon as I pull back, my arrow falls off the nock. So I'm at full draw with no arrow. Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
Comcast is delivering extraordinary experiences in live sports. Through the incredible broadcast and storytelling from NBC, innovative and personalized viewing features on Xfinity and Peacock, and the country's most reliable Wi-Fi, viewers can enjoy every game-changing play faster and more seamlessly than ever. All on a network built to deliver unforgettable moments as close to live as possible. The ultimate experience for the American sports fan. Learn more at ComcastCorporation.com/sports.
My buddy's sitting 6 feet away from me, just like into the moment. We got a turkey at 20 yards, and I'm just like, psst, 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 like trying to get his attention. He eventually realizes what's going on, belly crawls under my little thing over to me, reaches up, grabs my arrow, puts it back on my nock.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Or back on my string. He puts the nock back on the string. And I'm like, sweet. I'm sitting there looking at the bird, and I realize he had put the arrow on, but he's still holding it. Like, he just thought, boom, and he's just holding on to this arrow. And I'm like, let go of the arrow. And again, it's a big tom, just 20 yards out, just strutting with my decoys. And I'm like, let go of my damn arrow. He eventually lets go. I shoot when I think I have a good opportunity. I'm aiming central mass, but when the bird hears it, it drops its body, head pops up, and the arrow actually takes its head off. Well, I mean, 80% of the way off. So that bird, gone. Like, lucky shot, man.
Yeah.
Like, but success. So the bird's down. We're like, hell yeah. We're super excited. My buddy took a bunch of cool photos of me. There was those really cool, like, wavy, ripply clouds. It was just like this really cool moment with blue bonnets everywhere in Texas. Like I said, if you haven't hunted in Texas in April, go do it. But the crazy part of the story, and the reason I thought of it when you told me yours, then I was like, sweet. Well, I was about to leave anyways. This is perfect timing. So, I got the bird, throw some ice packs in its belly, and I take off to go process it. And I think I made, I don't know, like spätzle and like schnitzel and all that stuff, turkey schnitzel.
Okay.
Either way, I give him my gear. He calls me that night, and he's like, bro, I called in 4 turkeys. And in Texas, you get like 3 tags, right? Yeah. And so he called in a bunch of jakes, and he's like, whatever, I just want meat. He didn't care, and it's legal. So he, with 2 shots, he killed 3 birds. Yeah. So he shot, and 2 birds dropped. And the 3rd bird just stood there. And he's like, yep. So he reloaded, put it down. And so 3 birds, 2 shots, and I was like, holy crap, like what a day. What's funny is I think my tom was bigger than all 3 of his jakes combined, but he was happy as could be because that was his first ever harvest.
Yeah.
But it was just a crazy day, from like him not being able to find his workplace, the Mexican guys disappearing into the woods, my arrow and him holding on to it, all the way to him like harvesting 3 turkeys.
That's like 4 stories combined into one. That's great.
Right? Yeah, and I was just like, man, that is not how it's supposed to go. And so it was crazy. Him and I also had some fun in even farther South Texas, diving into some riverbeds, because it used to be public land and you could hunt them. Yeah. They've changed the law since then, and I'm pretty sure it's because of me. But he got attacked by like a 15-pound hog and lost his mind and shot this hog with like every round in his shotgun, and it was pretty funny. So funny guy. He moved up to Montana, and I think he's had some pretty good success up there. But now he's a hunter. So. Yeah, little Facebook adventure that turned into a crazy turkey story. So that's what I got for you, Scott.
Yeah, it usually only takes once. Like I said, I remember I took my nephew, is the son of my brother-in-law. So I guess he's my nephew, but it's on my wife's side. And, my wife's family, they're not big hunters. They're big fishermen, but not big hunters. So he's about 7, I think. And I'm like, oh, it's time to get him in the turkey woods. And they're like, I don't know. He's a little young. I'm like, I got a little 410 single shot. Fine. We're fine. So, I let him shoot it a couple times, and, it's fine. There's very little recoil. And at the time I was able to hunt these orange groves. And we got set up. We actually saw the turkeys pulling into the grove. They were over by like a maintenance shop, and we were hoping that we could get them back and not spook them too much. So then we got set up in a similar blind like you, a big kind of panel blind. It's just big enough for him to see over top of it. And I start calling, and then sure enough, these 3 toms come around the corner just like they're supposed to. And they read the script. They come out. They didn't gobble or anything, which I wish they would have, because that would have been a really cool experience. They came in quiet, but that was fine. And, I told them once separated, go ahead and take the shot just like we talked about. And he shoots, and he ends up rolling this. It was a beautiful, big Osceola tom. And the smile awesome on his face, it was great. And, my father-in-law even told me, he's like, I was really skeptical about you taking him. He's like, but it was probably the best experience he ever had, because he was so happy. He still talks about it to this day. Yeah. Yeah, it's just something about it. And it's funny because the next year, my buddy from Louisiana, he's a big crossbow hunter, and he brought his crossbow, and he wanted to hunt and hunting turkeys in the orange grove is hard, man.
I believe that.
Hard. And he's finally like, I'm putting my crossbow down. He's like, we're not able to get close enough to these birds. They spot us too quick. I can't shoot them with a crossbow. Do you have a gun I can borrow? I'm like, well, I got my little nephew's 410 shotgun. It's killed him at the time. He killed 3 birds with it by that time. I'm like, it works great. Got good TSS shotgun shells with it. So we called in this bird, and it was a night sit. We knew where he was roosting. He came in right like we expected him to. My buddy shoots and rolls the bird. The bird does a barrel roll, gets up and flies away. I'm like, what just happened? He's like, this dang gun. I'm like, my little 7-year-old nephew can kill turkeys with it. I don't know why you can't kill turkeys with it, but it was the dangest thing. Like the bird barrel rolled and just got up and shook it off and flew away. Both of us couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. I couldn't believe that either. How your the 7-year-old nephew, you said?
Yeah.
How much did he weigh when you get him out there shooting the 410? Because my son is 7, and I was daydreaming a little bit right there about getting him one for his birthday, which is coming up. So his 8th birthday, getting him his first 410, and then taking him out next spring.
Yeah, he's tall, but he was really skinny. So I don't know, he maybe weighed, 60, 70 pounds maybe.
Okay. That's a pretty big 7-year-old, I'll tell you that right now. My son is probably like 55 to maybe 60.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Cool. I'm going to ask you something of you, and you don't have to give me it right now, but I know you're the turkey guy, but like dive deep into the catalog, and I want you to tell me some other species. You don't have to start with it right now, but you can keep going with other stories, but I want you to give me one other species story before we wrap up
One
today.
other species. All right. Let's see. Well, I can remember deer hunting one time, and it was back in Iowa when I think I was in high school, and I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I got out to the woods late. I think maybe I had football practice or something, and I got home late. I'm like, there's still like an hour and a half, 2 hours of daybreak. I'm grabbing my gun and I'm going to the woods. And I'm right about to get to my stand where I normally hunt, and I see this doe like shoot out into the cornfield that I was overlooking. So I stand there and watch her for a second because I'm not to my stand yet. I'm still walking to it. And then this huge buck comes chasing after her. And, it stops basically about 30 yards away and looks toward me. And by that point, I was quick to get my gun up and I shoot. And it jumps high up in the air, back kicks, and it takes off running. And, I'm like, I'm not spooking this deer at all. I'm like, I know I hit it, but it looked like I hit it kind of back a little bit. Like, so I'm going home, getting my dad, and we'll come back a couple hours later and track this buck. So then I marked where I thought he was standing because I saw a whole bunch of hair. And then when we come back, we're looking everywhere. Can't find one speck of blood. Nothing. And then I know the direction he ran, so we started, heading that direction, seeing if we can't find anything other than some hair on the ground where I hit him. And we're just about ready to call it. And I look in this ditch, and there he is just laying there. So I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm like, Dad, I found him. He was over here. And, I hit his lung, but because of the way I hit him in the stomach, like all the blood and everything, it went internal. And I don't think he had one drop of blood exit. So it was just amazing that I was able to find him. And then we were just about ready to take off because we were out there in the middle of the darkness by that time. But I was very fortunate. That was probably still the biggest buck I've taken to date. And he's hanging at home in my bedroom.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I've had a lot of bad luck with blood as well. I don't know why. So like I shot an elk with an iron will broadhead, and I've just heard they're maybe too sharp. Like, I don't know, like it zipped right through him. Yeah. He ran maybe 100 yards and piled up, but we never found a drop of blood. Fortunately, he ran into a big field, he died upside down, so we couldn't like see his antlers, and we were like, what's that furry rock? Like, it took us over an hour to find him.
Yeah.
And he basically reared up kind of like a bronco and then fell backwards on his antlers, so his antlers were like smashed into the ground. So it didn't look like an elk. We got very lucky. My moose shot the moose with a Q80 Exodus, huge hole on the opening side, but it almost like hard quartering to me.
Yeah.
Right through that like bend in the shoulder that's all meat and no bone. Right through that, nicked the heart, and then pulled out a little bit of guts. That's how hard quartering she was.
Yeah.
And it pulled the guts out the exit hole. So again, found almost no blood.
Yeah.
This axis deer behind me, they're notorious for just being dry. Like, I don't know what it is. They just don't bleed. So like, I ripped this guy, nailed him with a sever, like a 1.5 inch sever mechanical, stuck him. He was quartering away, right into him. It actually, I think it hit the backside shoulder blade. And I saw that arrow flying around, and I went to look for blood, never found a drop of blood. I barely found the arrow just because Hawaii is this crazy terrain, and the arrow somehow got under this shrubbery. But I found all my animals, which is crazy, but I've never had to follow a blood trail. The only animal I'll say that I think did bleed pretty good was I shot an antelope, again with my sever broadhead, but it was like at dusk, so like right before the sun went down. I shot him, and I have a Luminox, and you just watch that, red light run away. So he was easy to find, but he had a lot of blood. That's the only animal I've ever shot that had any blood. And I didn't even know, I don't know if he had a blood trail or not. There was just, when I found him, there was a lot out there. But every other animal I've ever shot, man, no blood where they're laying or on the way to where they're laying. Just basically dry. It's been a crazy experience. I do want to have that blood trail experience. I just haven't had it yet, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, growing up in Iowa,
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Pays Checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place, ready to use and kept up to date. And the best part, your actual card number isn't shared when you check out, because boundaries are healthy, like no work emails after 6. One small step for boundaries, one big leap for checkout. Pays. It checks out. Activation required. See pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
I mean, you bow hunted, but when shotgun season rolls around, you got together with your deer hunting group, and we did deer drives. So you had the blockers at the end of the forest, and everybody was, you had their drivers pushing the deer. And, that's the beginning of December, so usually it had snow on the ground. And it was very, that's a pretty easy time to follow blood trails in the pure white snow.
I believe that.
Yeah. But, man, that was fun, man. I really enjoyed those times, those deer drives. Everybody in Florida thinks it's crazy, to be, walking toward your blockers and having them shoot back towards you. It's, I guess it's a little dangerous, but you really got to make sure you know where everybody is. And everybody's dressed in orange, but man, that's a good time. I remember those years growing up, and just get a, bunch of 15 buddies with you, and you're just hunting deer all day long. It's a blast.
That's cool. I've never participated in one of those. I've heard about plenty. I think Steven Ranella did some like Western style deer drives where a little different because they move so much, but he's basically like pushing animals around a mountain, trying to get them over to his other folks. But I've always wanted to experience something like that.
Yeah, I actually did a couple years ago. I had these two toms that would just not break away from this hen, and they were under a feeder. And in Florida, you have to be at least 100 yards away from a feeder. And the turkey has to be 100 yards away as well before you can shoot them. So I could see this feeder in the open field, and they just would not leave. I tried everything. I threw every trick in the book I could at them, and they had a hen with them, and they weren't leaving that feeder. So I called up my friends, and he was already back at the hunting camp we were, and I said, hey, just out of curiosity, so these towns aren't leaving anyway. I said, go drive the side by side, around the other side of the field, and maybe we can push them this way. And sure enough, it worked. As soon as he broke into the open on the far side of the field, those turkeys saw him and came running right to the wood line where I was sitting, and I was able to harvest one of them. So I kind of did a turkey drive a couple years ago.
There you go.
Surprisingly,
that's pretty innovative.
Surprisingly worked.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, what other stories you got for us, Scott?
Well, I kind of got stories for days, but I will tell you one thing. My nephews, they're still up in Iowa, and it's funny because during their graduation pictures, they're only a year apart. So when one was a senior, the other was a junior. So they took graduation pictures together, and they have a deer collection. Probably would make 99% of the hunters in America jealous. Like they had all these deer heads and this big batch of trees and everything, and they've been able to harvest some amazing whitetails up in Iowa, and
yeah,
I'll give them credit because they put in a lot of work. They do they do food plots, they hang cameras and monitor cameras all year long, so they do a great job on managing the herd. And if I ever go back up there and hunt, like I'm only allowed, I have pictures of everyone, and I'm only allowed to shoot these certain ones, so they have a good inventory. And it's funny because they really stick to it. So, but they're hard.
How old are they now? I know you said they took senior photos together, but how old are they now?
I think they're 23 and 24.
That's cool. Did they get that from their father, grandfather? Like who taught them, or who got them
I think
so excited about brother.
Like? Well, I mean, like I said, our whole family hunts, and deer hunting has always been in it. But I think my brother, really taught him how to maintain the herd and, really go after those big bucks. Because my dad, their grandfather, if it's brown, it's down. Like he was more about, we're feeding the family. He would always say, you can't eat those antlers. So he trophy bucks were not in his repertoire. But I think my brother kind of instilled that in him. And once you shoot those big bucks, you kind of get this, kind of want to see the next one to be even bigger. So they've been able to harvest some amazing bucks.
That's cool. Does your brother have bigger bucks than his sons, or are the sons the sons over the real killers? That's funny.
Yeah, by far.
I know Iowa's like world class. Like there's not many places we can get bigger bucks than Iowa. Maybe some of the crazy high fence breeders in Texas can do some crazy things, but like what's the biggest bucks they've had? And ballpark is fine.
My nephew took this one a couple years ago, during late muzzleloader season, and he was thick. Like I was barely able to get my hands around his main beams.
Wow.
And like we thought he was going to score. We thought it was going to be the first 200-point buck that my nephews have harvested, and he ended up only scoring like 180 something, which still isn't a
big whitetail.
Yeah, but he was really hoping that that was going to be that 200-point buck that he's been chasing, but it only got to be 180. But man, that was a beautiful buck, and just so massive. Cool.
Well, if those boys want to get on the podcast, tell them they have an open invite, or your brother if they want to talk about some of that stuff. I often. Obviously, like I'm from the West, so I have a lot of Western hunters on, and a lot of feedback I get is, hey, we need more Eastern hunting stories. So I'm always looking for folks that got some good whitetail stories if they want to come on. Yeah,
it's sad because, my youngest nephew, he's deployed right now. He's in the Air Force. So he missed all turkey season. And I just talked to him like last week, and he's still fuming about it because as much of a whitetail hunter as he is, he does love chasing turkeys too. And he missed the whole season. He was pretty upset about it.
That's too bad. That's right. He's still young. There's plenty of seasons left for him.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got plenty of time left. Relax.
Yep. Well, Scott, you got any more for us, or we want to wrap this thing up? You tell me, brother. I'll listen all day. We got the day off, so you tell me.
We do. We're taking the kids to Toy Story 5 later on this afternoon, but
nice. I have a buddy who's moving, and he is his son has outgrown his trampoline, so I'm gonna go tear down the trampoline and bring it home for my kiddos.
There you go.
And they ask me every 5 minutes if I've gotten it yet, and I'm like, I haven't left. How would I pick up this trampoline? Give me a break.
Yeah. Speaking of, like I said, introducing, the next generation to hunting. My wife and I, we actually ended up fostering. We ended up getting into fostering a couple years ago. And
I've seen photos here. You have a beautiful family. I'd love to hear this story. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're fine. I appreciate it. But, we fostered so many kids, and we wanted the younger ones. My wife loves babies. But, we always started with the younger ones, and we were finally able to adopt 3 boys. Just within the last 6 months, we adopted 3 of them. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, the little 2.5-year-old, like, he is my shadow. I cannot wait to get him in the woods. He already goes to the shooting range with me. Wears little earmuffs. He's got his Vortex binoculars out there. But he loves to go in the outdoors with me on the side-by-side, and I cannot wait for him to get in the turkey woods.
That's cool, man. It's funny when you just know one of your kids is like really into it. So my daughter, she's 4.
Yeah.
So when I came home with my moose and my antelope, I had the skulls basically skinned out and getting ready to go to like get Euro mounted and whatnot. And every morning, the first thing she'd say when she woke up was like, "Dad, can I see the heads?" And like she's just super into it. My little 4-year-old girl, my little princess, and wearing 3 tutus at one time, walking outside with Dad to check out the big game freezer. So.
Yeah, we had a pair of sibling sisters, and they were 3 and 5 at the time. And the little 3-year-old, every Sunday morning before church, she would want to watch turkey hunting with foster dad. And
That's
every
awesome.
time they would harvest one on the TV, she'd be like, "Got him!" And it was the funniest thing. She would have been a great turkey hunter, but she ended up getting reunited with her mom. But I cannot wait to get the young ones out there.
That's super
next
cool.
year.
So, how'd you get into fostering? Like, you got a big heart. I know one person that fostered, and he did it the wrong way. He was like 20, started fostering, and his first foster child was like a 15-year-old girl. And I'm like, that's not quite the relationship. That's like it was. It was his wife's idea, but like I remember he told this story where here's a story, not a hunting story, but she would always run away. And one time she like punched him in the face and started running. And he's like, I don't know what to do, but I'm responsible for her. So he started running after her. But he's like, I'm just a guy that doesn't look that much different than her. So he's like on the phone with like whoever's in charge of like the relationship, running alongside her, being like, I'm not attacking her. I just don't know what to do. And I don't want her to run away. So it's this crazy story about chasing his foster daughter down the road for a mile while on the phone with, the case manager or whoever it is. So I don't have much experience with it, but it is a very noble thing because, man, there's a lot of kids out there that need help.
Well, yeah, my wife and I, we don't have any children naturally, neither one of us. And they didn't say my wife couldn't have children, but they said it was going to be very difficult for her to have children naturally. So it's something she's always wanted to do, because there's so many kids out there and, need a safe home. So it's always something she always wanted to do was foster and adopt. And we finally were able to do it we finally were at the point of our lives where we were able to, make it happen a couple years ago. And we've been doing it for 5 years now, and like I said, a lot of heartbreak in between. The kids have all been great, but man, we got some crazy stories on that end. And like I said, we adopted 3 boys within the last 6 months. 1 single one, and then a pair of brothers. And it's been great. We have 1 current foster girl, but she's being reunited with her sister come Tuesday, so we'll be back down to 3 again.
Okay. Man, that's crazy. That's a full house.
Yeah.
Any of those foster kids ever go, nah, hunting's not for me? Or they all like kind of, because they're young enough, tap into that like human nature of hunting and like, are they all into it?
The oldest one is 5. I've taken him out to the woods a couple times and just, doing driving the side by side, just, messing around, and it wasn't really him. He said he was scared of the woods, and he didn't really like it. So,
okay.
As of right now, I don't think it's going to be his scene, but you never know. Maybe as he gets older, he'll grow out of it. But I'm not going to force it on him. If he doesn't feel comfortable out there, then he'll feel comfortable.
Definitely not for everybody.
Yeah,
definitely not for everybody. And if everyone did hunt, there wouldn't be enough animals for everyone. So
yep,
it's fine. That's totally fine. So cool,
like
Scott. Well,
I can't get my 3-year-old out of my side by side. If I take it and he's not with me, he gets so mad at me when I come home. He knows what I'm doing.
That's too funny. Well, man, you got any other stories for us, or are we gonna wrap this thing up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
All right, man. Well, let's do this. I know you said you got a few social media. Obviously, you work with Vortex. Share where the people can find you so they can look you up, and then we'll let you walk off into the sunset.
Let me get my exact handle or whatever. But Instagram is my main hunting page, and it's Scott James 9363. And like I said, I'm very fortunate to work with Vortex, and Preston Pittman Game Calls is another company I work very, very close with. It's cool because he was a legend when I looked up to when I was a kid, and now I have him on my phone. I call him. I can call him anytime I went and talk to him, have a conversation with the legend himself. But he's been fantastic. I'm on his pro staff, so those are the main two companies I work with the most, and I'm very fortunate to do so.
That's awesome, man. It's cool when you start to develop some of these hunting relationships. You do get to be in contact with some cool people. Like, I technically could email Ted Nugent right now if I wanted to. I'm not gonna, but I could, and I've had a Randy Newberg on a few weeks ago, and so I got Randy's email and phone number, and Corey Jacobson, and I've gone hunting with World Elk Calling Championships. It's amazing what kind of relationships you can build in the woods. And
the hunting,
oddly enough, on Riverside or Zoom here chatting about hunting stories.
Yeah, the hunting community is pretty small, and man, once you're in it, it's so welcoming. Everybody's so welcoming. It's just a bunch of good old boys, and I love the outdoors and I love the woods. So
absolutely. I'd rather be looking at the sky than a screen. I think that's what has us all in common.
100%.
All right. Cool, Scott, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for taking your time to jump on the podcast. We'll have you back anytime. Let's hang this thing up, and then let's talk about going out and making some stories together, man, here chasing some turkeys.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate the opportunity, and let's do this again.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
A burst pipe, a dead water heater, the AC calling it quits. Who do you call? HomeServe is an easy way to handle unexpected home repairs with plans covering stuff basic homeowners insurance usually won't. Instead of scrambling for a contractor, you make one call to get the repair process started. Join the millions of customers who trust HomeServe right now. Go to homeserve.com/podcast for 50% less your first year. That's homeserve.com/podcast. Savings compared to renewal price. Void in Florida.
Traditional banks are making it harder than ever to secure a small business loan. That's why thousands of business owners trust Cardiff for same-day funding. With over 2 decades of expertise, business owners keep voting Cardiff America's favorite small business lender. Apply now for up to $500,000 in same-day business funding at cardiff.co/Spotify. Again, that's cardiff.co/Spotify. Cardiff, borrow better.
Spotify, it's Jay Shetty. Are you one of those media strategy people? Scrolling through spreadsheets, searching for an audience that pays twice as much attention to your ads than they do on social? Let me introduce you to Fans. And they're here with me on Spotify. Trust me, I know Fans. They don't skip, they stay for hours. They don't move on, they manifest. They're not a demographic group, they're fans.
Spotify advertising. You're among fans.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.